Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for Divanarchy and interface with a couch in space. The space couchless week is over. I know you pretty much set your space clock by this show, and every moment not in its presence is waking terror. But we're always awake here because the moon's always out, as is the sun. We're in space. That's how it works. Thanks so much for coming to the show. Also, thank you this week to our advertisers. Brand new one. We're going to try them out. We'll see if they're any good. It is Tiger Squawk Records. You want to check out that new Smoldering Embers of Aggression from Canada. Ludo's Lex is amazing. DJ D42, the first in the chat room. You want to check out, also from Canada, Duckbags TM's new Tarantula. It's so good. Duality, that's me doing noise with my buddy Deftly. You also want to check out Bounty, the name of the album is the Grosvenor Dichotomy. I didn't think he'd do it. Skull Cultist, so good. You want to check out the new Gothsicles featuring Stoneburner. Also check out the new Gothsicles featuring Choke Chain. I'm having all my friends on this one, apparently. Blackness, the new one from Light Ray, available now. Bad Fact from Gasoline Invertebrate, brand new. Also, the new Melting Rust opera. It's a musical? It's really weird. Definitely coming in solo. Harsh Noise for Days. All that and more. You also want to sponsor the Space Couch with patreon.com/gothsicles. Gozer Games is better than everybody else. IHateArtists.com is better than everybody else. Lured by Radium. My buddy Pat from high school, he's the best. Dominic Pietro. Green People for Hire. Bremley. Ray Calvin, Fly Ahead. Walter Magoon, the leatherworking superstar. Hunt Hent Hawk for The Ditch. Glitch. You're all better than everybody else. If you want to be better than everybody else, patreon.com/gothsicles. Speaking of top tier, super excited for today's guest. She knocked it out on Industrial Nerds, another show I do that I never bring up on Space Couch because I got a lot going on and I can't keep it all straight. So that being said, let us just stop gabbing, pardon the pun, and start with Ava. It shouldn't say hypothetical spectacle on the screen. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you so much for coming to space. How are you?
Thanks so much. I'm doing really good.
Fantastic. Well, we as the industrial music community are doing well. Not only because Anthony Michael Rice from Science Fiction is in the chat room, but I Dream of a New Reality is out now. Okay, so where do we start? How would you describe this album?
It is hard to pick kind of just a single word. It's been massive, big, unexpected, all over the place. It started very much as a whole conceptual, like, ooh, perception. How do we like see ourselves, create ourselves? And that stayed in there, but the songs ended up a little more all over the place. Not gonna
Interesting, because that's you were setting me up for my next question. That's where I was going to go with it, like, because I was interested in the where you start versus where you end up, right? Like, so I mean, it sounds like you actually had something of a template and ended up with a version of that. If I'm picking up what you're putting down, or is that inaccurate?
Yeah, a version of it is probably about right. I had a lot of the initial ideas for it kind of from the very start of the project in 2019. Unfortunately, I also had no idea what I was doing. So I ended up, that actually started with the EP Electro Woman, which just allowed me to get ideas out of my head into DAW and into the world, which ended up being fantastic practice for I Dream of a Reality. And then I looped back and said, what if I work with this title as a template, do a couple of songs with the whole idea, and then just create a whole bunch of cool visuals in that, and not worry so hard about making it a whole elaborate concept piece.
Okay.
That was a good idea.
All right. Cool. Well, New realities are woven either way. Let's take a listen to a little bit of that audio with assuming I didn't we're not going to careen into the sun with my space controls. Here's a track. Hey, so now we're back. We just got some backstory on that backstage. I don't know if you want to share that with the group, but
yeah, I was just laughing at Control. Actually, I think was one of the later tracks written for the album. I think I wrote the initial stuff when were waiting on some particularly gnarly immigration paperwork for Eric.
Good stuff. Good stuff. There's like 20 dicks in Canada. They all work in immigration. But,
yes, they do. CBSA, all of them.
Yeah, the Venn diagram of Canadian niceness does not overlap with the immigration workers. But unless they're great, unless they're watching,
most
then you're cool.
I will say most of the people we dealt with in the main office and the U.S. field office were lovely. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of paperwork and high stress though.
I've always found them to be super inked up. Like every time I'm going into like play Terminus or something, I'm like, do you want to play the show instead? You look way more gnarly than I do. Just like sleeved up.
Yeah, it's funny because I always find like the American immigration is very feared, but every time I've individually had to deal with the border agents, which includes one time like, hi, I just put the completely wrong passport type visa type in your system. I swear I'm not coming into work.
Right.
The individual agents are lovely. And then the Canadian side, like it's all friendly, happy, and the individual agents can be like a lot.
Yeah. It's you just like you get up to that like which booth is it gonna be? And you're like, okay, I think I'll be good if I do that one. You get math, like, okay, I'm kind of cagey, like you're like a juror or something. Like, all right, I think I might do better with that guy. I hope I get hurt. But we'll get into a lot of Canadian stuff in just a space second because I don't want to let all these dreams of new reality slip through our fingers. So, how do you feel about the final product? Like, are you pretty jazzed with it? Do you want to sort of carry the torch with it? Do you feel like that a mission accomplished, or is there more to do in a vein that may or may not have been struck? Does that make sense?
I definitely have a bit of a mission accomplished feeling. That is by far the largest creative project I've ever, helmed and put out there, and it's out there, and the reviews have been pretty freaking good. So it's awesome.
Well,
it's also been a 2-year behemoth, and I'm really ready to start working on new music. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. 2 years in the clip. Speaking of awesome, Searing Star says this is awesome, and it's awesome that rock stars all are up on that. He is on Twitch today. We aggregate from Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, so pick your poison there. Speaking of massive, 3 big music videos accompany this. I smashed together 3 snippets of the aforementioned 3 videos. We'll watch them here, but they're all available on YouTube. I suggest you look these up shortly, but here's a little taste. Touch me, hold me, see me, feel me, won't you let your body talk to me? Touch me, hold me, see me, hear me, won't you let your body talk to me? I could break my body down and turn into a dream. Take a needle to myself and make a better me. All right. So, supercut of videos. Where do we start? Let's start at the top there with what I understand may or may not have been filmed in a post-move basement.
So it's funny to me that Body Talk is like one of the big videos because that was the one where we were sitting there like we were about to move. Our house had been the house we were living in had been sold.
Mm-hmm.
We were helping stage it. And so we're sitting there trying to get the release for Body Talk lined up at the same time. I'm like, oh crap, we need a video. I'm going to my closet, like, I got this, this, and this. Here's the thing.
Smash it together.
We have a white wall in the basement here if we move the cat box. And,
I love it. I love it.
That's what we did.
Bang it out. I also love that Gefrierzella is in the Twitch there. Hey, what's up, man? Or lady, I don't know if we've met. But back to you. Yeah, so I love that. You just like we need a video, bam, done. And then we move on to Machine.
Yeah.
The looking very Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
With tell me about that. That was a cool looked like a cool location.
It was super cool. So a lot of the stuff, the concrete wall stuff, was actually shot in like some sort of drainage culvert thing, a fairly short walk from where Eric and I lived in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
We were so we basically were filming that in the middle of 2021. Like, hey, we've got a video to shoot. How do we want to do this? Huh. So we had a whole bunch. We had a plan to like try to use a kiddie pool and tarps and some waterproof lighting to replicate a Ghost in the Shell like tank scene, but then it snowed all over this, and then we just didn't have time to pull that together.
But I mean, so that was like Elysium, yeah?
Yeah, we did. So we did some of the performance footage at Elysium as well. We were able to set up a whole ton of lights. A friend of Eric's and mine, Jacob Stone, did a ton of second camera for that. It was amazing work.
Cool.
And we actually ended up filming the surgery bits at Rich's house. Rich Nebrikowski, also from Adoration Destroyed.
Yes,
so
sorry, for the audience, Elysium is the club famously in Austin, Texas. And the Eric of which you speak is, of course, Eric of Adoration Destroyed. So that's pretty dope. After that, we summoned some shit. Whoa! Yeah. Tell me about that.
So Whipping Girl, that one ended up being 100% shot and staged and production designed and all that by me. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be Eric, but we ended up having a whole ton of trouble with the schedules. So I went to the local camera store, rented a shitload of gear, put in the back of the car.
Love it. I love that. Go on.
Borrowed a bunch of my model and burlesque friends to be in the cast. Snuck into one provincial park, one dungeon basement, and my living room. And we made a music video out of it.
Punk rock. Love it. So tell me about your process, because you're kind of a music video warrior at this point. Like, do you storyboard it out? Do you just like run and gun and kind of piece it together like Legos afterwards? Like how much time did it take to get from your head to the screen?
So Body Talk was basically from head to camera in about 5 hours. And then we did a lot of the overlay work and that after to kind of superimpose a story idea on it. Mm-hmm. And so that one was the fast one. Whipping Girl, Machine were both probably a couple months. Like I did actually for Machine, like Previs Pro with the little people in that. I wasn't actually a big fan of that, as it turns out. I do like shot lists and timelines for the video.
Okay, cool.
I actually use a shot list template I adapted from our friends in Dread Risks, who we shot a video for a couple years ago.
Shout out to Dread Risks.
Yeah. And yeah, Eric and I actually edited that together.
Sick.
And they had this beautiful detailed timeline of what had to go where, because it was a whole Eldritch story thing. That was the video for Traumatize, actually, fun fact. So I actually borrowed their template and still use it.
Very cool. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you chopped it all together. You just Renaissance woman. That is rather impressive.
Thank you.
So it's a combination of meticulous planning where time allows and a run and gun. Like let's use this.
It's both. I think we came up with the goat at the end of Whipping Girl very much at the last second. Like Tiffany's like, I have this goat mask. And I'm like,
why do you have a goat mask? Why don't you have a goat mask? So let's do as long as we're talking nitty gritty, let's get a little nerdy. Like what's your DAW, and do you have any VSTs or whatever that you could recommend to our super nerdy audience out there?
Oh, you bet. So I'm an Ableton woman. A lot of the songs were on the album were done by stitching together the scenes and ideas in session mode. And then once we had kind of everything chopped together, yeet it all out to arrangement mode and start working with it from there. Hello. And then, so for plugins these days, I am a big fan of Track Spacer.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I've been using on
right.
all of my remixes lately.
Yeah, I just started getting into that shit. It's a really good one. Shout out to Track Spacer.
Yes,
that's a game changer. Good call.
Oh my god, it's incredible. I actually just recently started trialing Live 11 and moved up a version, so I'm on proper suite now.
Oh, okay. And congratulations.
Hybrid reverb. Oh my god.
What's hybrid reverb?
It's a mix of the reverb and EQ. So you essentially can EQ in the reverb tail, and the effects on it are great. I'm loving it.
Cool.
So yeah, I've basically converted to Ableton. And
if you want to sound like you're a Mickey Mouse, like your echo is higher, like I don't know.
Yeah, for the echo in Ableton, yeah, I use it sometimes to create kind of delay effects and that for a lot of stuff.
Okay, I'm just like, how would you want to? I'm sorry, my mind is just going into like EQing and reverb at the same time. Like, what would you do with that? But sorry,
not echo. Oh, not echo and reverb at the same time. Two separate plugins.
EQ. I meant to say
EQ and reverb. Yeah.
So we'll check that. But do you like the new Ableton?
Love it.
All right, cool.
I'm so happy with it.
I have limited experience, but I'll check it out.
Excellent. I'm pretty basic. I have pretty basic taste in plugins. Vital, Serum.
Cool.
Cat.
People have brought up Serum a couple of times. It's a favorite here on Couch. And I Dream of a Reality is out now on Distortion. How'd that come about?
Jim has been here since the beginning.
He certainly has been.
He is, since the beginning of EVA X 2, actually one of the first songs I finished after my EP was for the Prime edition of the last Electronic Saviors compilation.
Woo!
That was Enter in Sand, which was a million years ago. And get your face out of my plants.
Hey, kid.
So we talked about it a bunch, and when they came time to shop the album, Jim was one of the first people we talked to, and he was in right away, and it's been fantastic. So he's been a huge supporter for a while. He's hosting me in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks, actually.
Oh, hey, awesome. Yes. So that's is that EVA X Live?
EVA X Live.
EVA, I say EVA. I keep saying EVA.
Just don't put a
X. No dash in that EVA X.
Ooh.
Live in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks. Andrew Lockhart says, "Oh yes, Industrial Cat."
Yes.
And so where do you see the role of like labels in 2022? Like what's a label's job, do you think?
I've been really, really lucky to have Jim's support with the PR and a lot of the album pressing in that. It's a huge help to have some support on the the work of getting an album out to the world, of getting it printed, and someone else dealing with the pressing plant and the art. So I don't have to figure that out because that I am not good at. Physical product design.
All right. Well,
but
I mean, it looks great.
And it's been just massively helpful. Also, just so much as anything to have that networking boost and that friendly face of, oh, hey, Distortion, especially as a new artist coming out. Like, I'm sure it's different if you're like Aesthetic Perfection and everyone knows and everyone has heard that name at least 2 or 3 times. It's different. But there's been a real, I think it has lended the project a bit of a legitimacy to be like, here is our album.
Right.
It is on like an actual industrial label listened to this and said, yeah, we're going to put it out. That's been really helpful, especially kind of just out the gate.
Well, we love Distortion here on Space Couch. Check out Tiger Squawk Records versus Distortion Productions, available now. If we wanted to get I screwed it up. I Dream Over Reality, however, we should go to the Distortion Bandcamp or something like that. Where's the best place to do that?
distortionproductions.bandcamp.com.
Check it out, everybody.
Yeah.
It's great. We're doing things a little bit backwards today. By definition, origins tend to come at the beginning, but I want to get into your origin story a little bit now, just because I was so excited about the album. How did you come to this place? I remember. I mean, we were on that episode of Carl's show,
yes,
and I know you had come from a modeling background. I'm curious what led to that, from that to music.
So I boomeranged back and forth a little bit, simplifying it a bit on Carl's show. I actually was in a couple of pop punk and very small metal bands when I first started making music in Calgary. I've done a little bit of everything, like modeling, burlesque, dance. And I've always just had a real drive to make things and create things. And I had music on the go for most of that modeling career, just writing it. So it was less like a shift and more just, I reached a point where everything kind of lined up and then it was all music all the time.
Okay, so it was like it wasn't a clean break. It was like kind of one's coming up and kind of the others.
Yeah, one's up, the other's down. It just is what it is.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you, much like some sort of beat matching fade to the track. I'm glad that worked out because as has come up for a number of the past guests, we all saw each other live recently at Seattle's Mechanismus Festival, at which you lit the place up. So tell me about your experience playing live.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, Mechanismus was amazing. Playing live is, I always kind of have a needle scratch moment. Because about midway through 2020, I did the math on the number of streaming shows I'd done versus the number of shows I'd done in other bands, ensembles, what have you. And I had done more streaming shows for EVA X than any other project I'd been in, combined and all put together.
Wow.
So, like, most of EVA X's live experience is webcam in my basement. So actually getting to play in front of humans is great.
It's not the same. I mean, it is
not. It is. It's actually funny now. It's, for me, I can just put on a way better show, I think, because like I'm sitting out there, like, I'm used to having to try to drum up energy opposite like a webcam and my incredibly unimpressed industrial cat. Like, having humans who are interested, like, this is great. And Mechanism is just amazing. Like, it was so cool.
That's awesome. So would you say that your greatest concern on sort of a cosmic-y macro level would just be to kind of harness audience energy or just deal with having physical eyes on you? or what would you say your concern number one on sort of that high level would be?
Yeah. For me, the biggest thing performing is always getting out of my own head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty in my head kind of person.
Okay.
I'm a classic overthinker, so it's all, and I've gotten better at being able to be like, right, we're here, ready to be here, we're performing, we're on, and just being able to kind of respond to what the crowd gives you and what the room gives you. And
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better at that.
Okay. Yeah, it took me a while to get that skill as well. Like I'm very sort of like analytical, antiseptic almost.
Yes. Yeah. I am incredibly analytical, almost painfully so.
Getting to that primordial level it took me a while to cultivate. That's interesting. That you said on a micro level. Like, do you have any concerns about playing live? Like, I have to remember to not forget the wireless base of the microphone, and I have to remember to if I put the power glove on one way, it doesn't work. It always falls apart by track 3. But if I strap it the other way, like over, under, over, and I can never fucking remember which way it is. But I'm wondering if you have any concerns like that.
Oh yeah, that sounds like me with my in-ears. Actually, like one way they fall out the top of the hat. I figured out recently the other way, they're in forever.
All right, cool.
That and don't leave the wireless mic places. I was opening for Aesthetic Reflection a few nights ago, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was
all
cool.
Right, sorry.
And yeah, so we do the set. It's great. We get all our stuff off because like you're the opening band on nature. Like it's like get in, play, and then get out.
Right.
And the stage is complete. It's like there's 2 drum kits. It's crazy. So we're getting all the gear out. I run back to merch for the magic half hour. And then about 10 minutes later, the stage manager walks over like, here you go. And I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. Classic move.
So yeah.
Good stuff.
Don't leave the wireless places.
Don't leave the wireless. I always put it in my pocket now. But you only wear pockets. So
yeah, I could go for a pocket. There's
I see your stage
anywhere else I could put it.
We have come to I thought we were gonna get Space Dog on the show. You can come on the show, Space Dog. Oh no, she doesn't want to do it. Pets notwithstanding, let's do our new feature on the show because I'm excited about it. That is, oh no, space controller's not working. That's okay. We'll do it. We'll do like that one Star Trek sequel and initiate manual control. Here we go with hypothetical spectacle. So we could do. I'll give you a guest choice. We could pontificate on what EVA X the video game, EVA X the comic book, or what you would be if as an animal.
Oh, let's do the video game sounds like fun.
All right, cool. So would this be like a platformer where there's like an Austin level and like a Calgary level and like maybe you can like turn into a machine or you gotta have like Whipping Girl's gotta have a whip. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Whipping Girl definitely. I'm kind of picturing almost like a Cyberpunk 2077 RPG.
Okay, cool.
There are like the Star Wars style light whips.
Okay.
There's a
so it would be like it wouldn't be like a Tetris thing where you're trying to like get all the pieces of trying to get a music video to get like some weird conceptual sort of high, just conceptually abstract interpretation of life. But I like you as a playable character, cyberpunk sort of thing going on. We could have the aforementioned Eric of Adoration Destroyed. I do like that would open up the whole thing of alternate outfits that a
Yeah, you've got a whole, and I mean, like, look, dude, you got the whole machine thing. You could go where our budget didn't let us go and get into like the whole cybernetic limb replacement vibe.
okay. I don't I never I don't know if Cyberpunk has magic in it, but if you wanted to do like Shadowrun, then you could get those shamans from the Whipping Girl video and
Do Mass Effect and go for biotics.
what's that?
Do Mass Effect and go for like biotics.
There you go. There you go. Like a Mass Effect thing. Real cool. I think we nailed the EVA X video game. Coming soon from I don't know, EVA X Productions. Let's we've dropped it a few times. You are clearly married to Eric Gustafson of Adoration Destroyed. I'm wondering what it's like having two industrial music producers under the same roof. Do you just like shit like, hey, I just discovered ducking compression or whatever? Like, do you share tips and tricks?
Oh yeah, no, we totally bounce. We definitely bounce plugins back and forth sometimes.
Okay, cool.
Like we share ideas. We bounce.
Awesome.
We bounce like production. One of us will be like, "Huh, where do we go from here?" And like we feed ideas off each other for sure.
Cool.
We're pretty siloed, like on our individual creative projects. Like the writing processes and that happen quite independently.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we're polishing stuff and doing plugins and tricks, yeah, we totally bounce stuff off each other.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think that that's interesting. That's an interesting feature, I think, of industrial music. Or I don't know if the solidarity came first or the music sort of led to that, but it seems to be such a sort of a one-on-one relationship with you and the computer that a lot of it gravitates a certain type of person is where I'm going with it. Well, maybe let's talk about that, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but why industrial music, like, of all things?
It was heavy, dark, and I could do it without having to wrangle an entire band, which made it much easier than heavy metal. I was a huge metalhead for many, many years. And I actually discovered industrial music because this one time, Chris Hewitt and so a promoter in Edmonton
Shout out to Chris Hewitt.
Yep, shout out to Chris Hewitt, best promoter in Canada. He is amazing. He would be best promoter in North America, but Ali and the Unconvention crew are also fabulous. So it's a tie.
So much going on.
So much good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, they flew in Ben Watkins of Juno Reactor to do a Juno Reactor DJ set. And I, at the time, was like not really doing much of anything. So I'm like, hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
I like the Matrix.
Right.
This could be fun. $25 and I can I at the time could get there to and from very easily. Why not? I will show up. Anyway, I made it just in time for Scott Fox to do his Singularity set, which was more synth than I'd seen in any one place.
It's a lot.
And so he shows up, and it was like he was full improv anything. This was back when he did a brief spiel before his Singularity set introducing it. And at that point, my brain was melted because it was it was a Singularity set. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I'd never seen anything like it. Like just an entire live improvised set straight in front of me, done by this one dude.
Yeah, if you've not seen that,
DJ, it was also super fun.
Amazing. That sounds like an amazing set. For the listener, imagine just a sea of electronics.
Yes.
One bald, extremely talented, charming Canadian man making insanely dope dance music on the fly. That's an Ardent Sphere Singularity set. Followed by a DJ set by Juno Reactor. I'm looking at a dog named Juno, but that sounds incredible. Juno Reactor, who, if you are unfamiliar, had some music in a series of movies that I think did fairly well.
They did okay.
They did okay. Speaking of things that end in X, what is something about EVA X people might not understand?
Okay, and the one question of which I'm drawing a total blank. Like,
Hmm. Well,
I'm a
that's a totally
pretty,
valid answer. Like, do you
yeah.
like uh, do you feel that like there's not a lot of noise in that signal, like what you're putting out there is what people are seeing?
I think it's gotten a lot better. It took a while. It took a few kicks of the can to kind of get people like thinking like it's not like it's not synthwave anymore. It's
Hmm.
kind of get people really connected with the project's sound and
Hmm.
ideas. But I really feel like that's gotten better lately. I've probably gotten a lot better at it.
You were awesome at Mechanismus.
Like, thank you.
How'd that aesthetic perfection set go?
I was just going to talk about that because I was really, really happy about how that aesthetic perfection set went. That was one where I thought people really, we just brought all of our super high energy songs. We reworked some of the old stuff to bump up the energy levels a little. The
Nice,
cool
nice.
tracks are still doing. And it just, I was so happy that people connected, people got really into it. I was very happy with how it went over.
Hell
Also, I have to
yeah.
add one coda on the origin story.
Okay.
I wouldn't meet Scott Fox for another 2 years because I wouldn't talk to that night because I was too intimidated. Which is hilarious in hindsight.
Oh, that's awesome.
He
Uh,
laughed too when I told him that.
friend of the show, Scott Fox. Shout out. So that aesthetic perfection gig was there in Vancouver.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so you're how does that work out? You're a former American citizen, or
So neither.
okay,
I am a Canadian
you're
lifelong citizen and
you're
resident.
a Canadian citizen, and
I
just sort
met
of
Eric because I was attending Mechanismus 2019
okay.
as a attendee, and
You
we
met
got
it.
to chat.
You met at Mechanismus
We
2019.
did. We totally
Ah,
did.
I think I
We
was at that
actually
one.
like legit met at Mechanismus.
That's amazing.
Yep. And so I would fly back and forth. The American rules on
From Vancouver to Austin.
from Calgary to Austin. At the time, I lived in Calgary.
Fuck. That's a that's a flight.
Yep. It's about basically it was a travel day each way.
Uh huh.
So I was working remote at the time. So what we started doing is one of us would fly and we'd stay for like a month or so. So that's how the machine video ended up happening in
Oh, okay.
Austin. I was there for 3 months.
Okay. So, what is something me as an American needs to know about Canada?
Oh man. And so we're slightly more relaxed drivers here than a lot of Americans.
Okay.
Weed is legal.
Okay. Oh, it is. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, weed is federally legal in Canada. You can go into a
Okay.
store so long as you're over the age of majority in that province and buy it. You
Cool.
can drink at 19 in most provinces, 18 in some of them. We don't have states. Unless you're between Toronto and Montreal, everything is really far away from each other.
Hey, cool. Cool. And well, let's do
Also,
it.
we don't have interstates. Good luck on our highways.
Man, it's been a minute. I want to get back there. I was supposed to do some stuff, but there was that whole COVID thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that.
but yeah, I am glad you back out opening for Fresh Faced Teens Aesthetic Perfection. Maybe they'll go somewhere. I'm kidding. Uh, yeah, I the only reason he hasn't been on Space Couch yet is because I wanted to practice more. Um, what is? But we're not talking about him. We're talking about you. What is next for the mighty EVA X?
So we've got a run of shows coming up near the Unconvention at the end of November.
So you're doing?
Playing
Are
the
you doing?
Unconvention
Oh
on
yeah.
November 19th,
All right.
same night as Moore and Grendel. So that's going to be super cool.
Never heard of him. That's
And
so cool. And
then from there, we're cruising to Pittsburgh, Albany, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati.
oh, much love to all those cities.
Yes.
But I wanna do just a flyby real quick. My friend Lisa's doing, or our friend Lisa's doing
Yes.
that unconvention. Seems pretty dope. That's in New Jersey, right? I think.
Morristown, New Jersey.
What's in more? Yeah. So if
Yes.
you're around there, we're coming up real quick. Check that out. Lineup looks pretty great. So I just wanted to shout out that I ain't gonna be there, but more that's okay because you're gonna see some great music.
Yes.
Our guest, of course, included therein. And then if you're in the wonderful Albany with our good friends and Cincinnati,
Yes.
all that stuff. So Midwest, East Coast, you're not going to uh, lose $1 of your cover charge emotionally or experientially. That
Yeah,
will all
it's
be paid back to you. Is it like a giant pain in the butt to as a Canadian person to pay?
holy crap, yes.
Okay.
The visas suck.
Oh gosh. So you
The
heard it here.
visas, actually, I take it. So I have to amend my answer slightly.
Uh-huh.
It's not as bad for us as it is for
Mhm.
Europeans because Canadians don't have to do a consulate interview.
Okay.
We get our paperwork together, submit it to the AFM, they evaluate it, and we get a P2.
So
I mean, it still sucks, but it could
sucks.
be more.
Well, no, we're gonna leverage that guilt. You guys, it takes so much for Canadian bands to play here in the States or in space because I haven't figured out how reality works on this show. I'm dreaming of a new one. But check them out, please. Not only for that reason though, because the music is really wonderful. I've been jamming out to I Dream of a New Reality. It's out now on Distortion. You want to check out Distortion Productions on Bandcamp. You of course know Distortion from the I will go so far as to say reality altering Electronic Saviors series that sort of changed the game of kind of what industrial music could accomplish and just be sort of physically in the world. Wolf Raven says hi on Twitch. That company is now representing our guest, so you know that they mean business. Is that coffee place that you're playing in Pittsburgh?
Black Forge Coffee. I'm very excited.
Oh, I bring that up because that. Speaking of great products, the new album "I Dream of Reality" out now. But that Black Forge Coffee that woke me up in the morning for a while. The Red Locust brand Black Forge Coffee. Shout out to Red Locust.
Very nice.
So what's next? Do you think musically? Are you feeling a certain direction? Or is it too early to say?
We're feeling a certain way. I think we're kind of gonna drift back towards a bit more of the dance, the very clubby heavy vibes. It's going to we're gonna get real weird with it. Should be fun.
Oh well,
I'm kind of like there is a huge mess of pop and gent and bass and dance beats kicking around my studio right now.
Okay.
So it should be fun.
All right. Well, we are fueled. Our nacelles spew nothing but dance beats here on Space Couch. So we will look forward to that. But we will make several laps around the sun as we are fueled by I Dream of Reality. Out now on Distortion Productions. All those videos are available on their internet, which I know you have because you're watching this show. Wolf Raven says, how's it going? Well, check it out, Wolf Raven. We are on a rogue flight path out here in space. I'm going to bring this flying couch back on into the station right now. So do you have any closing thoughts? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So check us out next week. This is but right now this is Brian for Space Couch for EVA X saying called No Dashes.
No dashes.
No dashes. Like there's one less reindeer on this sleigh ride because if you're a dasher, we leave you home. That's a little bit long for your T-shirt, but I'm sure you can workshop that.
I can figure that out.
There you go. What we can also figure out is either reality, out now distortion, call it space with Davenport, preferred event, interface with the couch in space, space couch. Ow! Ow! I left so thank you so much for showing up in space. What? Wow! Oh, warrior! Well, Christmas came early in the Pacific Northwest. If you are still listening to the sound of my voice, please check out both Seattle and Spokane, Washington.